Hey fantastic people, welcome back to F1ntastic Gaming. Before we properly get started, just want to know quickly before this goes away that two upgrades have failed. One of the durability and aero upgrade, and the chassis upgrade has come through. And yeah, now that I've spoken about that, we're gonna go to the activity screen because we have 3 days before an invitational event. So these 3 days we're gonna fill it up properly. We're gonna go with the sponsor advertisement for the drivers. It'll get us some good team acclaim and it'll get us some cash. And then I want to fill these days up properly, so I'm gonna go with the sponsor event, which is for promotion. We're gonna be attracting new sponsors this episode, so I just want to really make sure that's pretty good. And durability equipment upgrade, that's really important because our durability is not that good. And yeah, as I said before, we're getting a new sponsor now because we have reached team acclaim level 5. You can see there are a bunch of sponsors with a bunch of different goals. You can see there's top 10 finishes, 10 constructor points, overtake goals, fastest lap goals, finishing position goals, as I said before, and sometimes even a number of laps goals. But I'm gonna go with DSP optics, which is achieve a top 10 finish. I think that's very realistic and I think that's a good bonus, so I'm gonna go with DSP optics. As I mentioned before, 2 upgrades failed, so you know, that's not good, but now we can restart them and there's a 0% failure chance and they will come in before the race. You can see, and it doesn't cost me much resource points. It only costs us half of what it would normally cost. Right now in the engine department there's only major upgrades available. In the chassis there's a minor one, but yeah, only major upgrades available in the engine department. You can see that we have some okay finances, $1.9 million, so I wanted to invest in some facilities, but I decided against it because then we're going to be extremely low on cash. So yeah, you can see upgrade comes in, the sponsor advertisement is done, and we're now going to head straight to the invitational event at the Dutch Grand Prix. You can see that Carl is reminding us of something that we already did before, so Carl reminding us pretty late for these kind of stuff. We're gonna head straight to the invitational event. It's gonna get us $150,000 and 1,000 acclaim. We're gonna be in the 2010 Red Bull car, which brought Sebastian Vettel his first world championship. So you can see we're starting off the lap now from the countdown. The goal is to travel 7.80 kilometers, so that's just less than 2 laps of the circuit, I think. And you can see that there's a timer and there are checkpoints. Coming through turn 1, I really noticed this, that the car is really feisty. The traction, it's pretty difficult. Coming through turn 2 and turn 3, we face major problems here because of the banking. We turned in so much that we got on the curb heavily and we had to be extremely careful on the traction. We lost quite a lot of time there going wide. We're going to go straight into hyperdrive now because I'm only showing you this to show that we achieved the goal. We finished 7.80 kilometers and we passed the checkpoint challenge. We actually went way above 7.8 kilometers. You can see that we get a good bonus for the podium pass. But yeah, we did 9.52 kilometers, so we got the whole 150,000 bonus and 1,000 acclaim, so that's pretty good. Now we're gonna forward through time. The sponsor event promotion is done. We get our weekly resources, and you can see that the durability equipment upgrade came. The failed upgrades came in as well, but Carl is reminding me of something very important. This race we're gonna be able to properly select a rival. So yeah, the press is gonna ask us about a rivalry and we're gonna be able to select one that would get us good acclaim if we beat them, but it would lose us acclaim if we lose to them. But we actually head to the livery screen because we have a new sponsor on board and we want to show that on our car, and you can see that I've done so. DSB optics, we've put it near the engine air intake, which is, you can see where it is. The loop sponsorship is mainly featured on the wings and the side of the car because it's the main sponsorship. There are title sponsors and on the halo, so we want to make sure that's good. And we have a good share of PSD sponsorships as well. So, and before we head into the race weekend, I want to talk about a new structure to these My Team Career Mode videos. I'm gonna stop showing footage of practice because they're not as important. I'm just gonna show the results of practice. So you can see FP1, it was a wet session. The race and the race and qualifying not going to be wet, but FP1 was wet. We finished in P7 there. Our tier in podium pass gets upgraded to tier 4 already. And in FP2 it was completely dry, and we don't get anything from the podium pass, by the way. But FP2 we finished in P11, a little bit worrying there, and FP3 we finished in P6 after doing the qualifying pace program. So that was pretty good for us there. Now we're gonna take a look at what we gained from these practice sessions. 440 resource points from my side and 160 from Jordan King. 18% combined acclaim boost. I think that's gonna take us up an acclaim level. Yes, it is, to acclaim level 6. Now we go to the R&D tree. We have a good amount of resource points, 1090, but not enough for a major upgrade. So I thought, you know, we need to upgrade now. We have enough resource points. So again, aero upgrade, minor front downforce upgrade. I took front downforce instead of rear downforce because it will come in before the Monaco Grand Prix, and I get a durability upgrade as well. I think turbo durability. Now we head to qualifying. You can see that it's dry. It's pretty dark because it is overcast, but it is a dry qualifying session. You can see we're coming to the final corner, and now we're gonna come across the line and start our first flyer of qualifying. Coming to turn 1, you can see that someone comes out. I think Daniel Ricciardo comes out, but we still didn't get distracted by that. We didn't get disturbed. You can see coming through turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3. It felt a little bit different to last year's game. You can see there's some new sponsorships, but it just felt more awkward. Maybe it's because I haven't played this track in a long time, or maybe it's because of just the downforce of this car. That's a little bit more awkward for this car as we come through the hairpin of turn 6. Now we're into the second sector, a bit more difficult section. You can see from here we have some good grip, but we can't go flat out because it's a bit too tight for that. This area of the track is probably the easiest place to lose time, because you can see here you need to get the racing line absolutely right. You can't get on the curb too much, you can't get on the grass, you need to get a good exit, and you don't want to get oversteer or understeer as we brake hard for this really tight chicane. A little bit awkward, but you can see we get on the curb very heavily here. But look at this corner, we get so much understeer, we have to lift off and stuff. Even in practice I was getting walls and walls of understeer from that corner, so don't know why that is, but we come across the line after our first flyer. We're in P5, 1 minute 33.0. I don't think that's a really fast lap time because we're in P13 by the time we come out for our second flyer. So we're starting our second flyer now, coming to turn 1. One thing that Jeff said in an email that was really important, I think he says it later as we hit a little bit of traffic, and Verstappen, he gives us away thankfully. And yeah, we gained 7 tenths on this lap, so we're in P8 now behind Charles Leclerc. So things are looking good right now. But we returned to garage because I knew that was going to get a little bit worse, because you know, at the end drivers always put in super fast laps. So we start this one final flyer. You can see I was just looking at the car just to check how it was looking on track. Coming through turn 1 now, the braking, it's really awkward and you can easily, you know, be mistaken in the braking. But look at that, we're getting some dirty air from Kvyat now. Our kind of depressed thinks that he's our rival so far right now. From, you know, last episode, remember when Claire said that this is Danny Kvyat a thorn in your side? But yeah, right now he is being a thorn in my side, and because he's giving us some dirty air. The Delta was lying, we're getting red sectors even though the Delta is saying that we're getting green sectors. Qualifying is complete now. Look at that, we get so much understeer and we lose quite a bit of time to Kvyat in front. Like you can see, we're going slow through that corner because not just the dirty air, we're just general understeer. It was pretty bad. But yeah, qualifying is fully over. We put in that final lap and it brings us P8. You can see that we qualify in P8, but then goes down to 11. A little bit weird from the game there, but yeah, we finish qualifying in P11. You can see for the podium pass we get 300 XP. We're still in tier 4 and we're on the way to tier 5, but yeah, we qualify in P11. A little bit worrying there. I mean, I know I'm gonna finish in the top 10, but like we've been finishing in P5 in really high positions in the previous 3 races. So yeah, teammate Jordan King has a terrible qualifying as well, only P21, but we have a press interview.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
So we can finally select a proper rival. You can see that there are a few rivals here with different difficulty and different acclaim level increase if we beat them. But I'm gonna go with Danny Kvyat because he's the best driver on that list and he'll get us the biggest acclaim boost, and it seems the most appropriate. I'm gonna go with the option on the right. We're giving it all to the team, you know, we're gonna praise the team and it'll get us some good acclaim, and I think it'll keep things positive.
Great, well that's everything.
So I think that went well. We're now going to go to the screen at the end of qualifying. 8% acclaim boost for me and 10% for Jordan King. 18% combined acclaim boost for the team. Now we're gonna move to the rival screen. You can see that we've got our first rival, Danny Kvyat, and now we're gonna head to the race.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before the braking zone of turn 14. Anthony Davidson, thanks for joining me once again for the Grand Prix. Let's talk about Falcon. That was a solid result in their last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, just edging out Alexander Albon, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Ricciardo, Bottas, Sainz, Norris and Sergio Perez, Falcon, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Gasly, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Romain Grosjean and Antonio Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Russell, King and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Well, I really want to get some points on the board too. First we're going to look at the fuel and the setup. So I'm going to go with 2 extra laps of fuel, just so I can use a lot of fuel if I'm in a situation where I need to have a faster car. We're going to keep the low tire pressures and 6.6 wings, and I'm actually going to go with a major strategy gamble here. I'm going to start on the mediums, which is something that none of the other drivers are doing. I'm the only one who's going to be starting on the mediums and going to the softs towards the end of the race. I have the option to do this because I am starting outside the top 10, but for now we're going to go to 5 red lights and it's lights out and away we go. We get an okay start like off the launch, but then we use overtake mode and you can see we're doing much better than the other cars, and we make a huge dive down the inside. Perez and Norris, they're making a bit of contact there, but we're up into P9 now. We're pushing Ricciardo through the corners, 3 wide into turn 2 ahead of us, but now Dirty Air is really kicking in. You can see we're losing so much time. The Norris is trying to get back at us now, so things are not looking too good out of turn 2 and 3, but the start was good anyways. But we make a massive dive bomb down the inside of 3 cars. We're still kind of side by side with with Sainz. I think we really slowed them down, but that was really crazy. 3 wide into the hairpin. But now we continue off. You can see Bottas trying to go for a move, but we squeeze him out coming into this corner. It's a long left-hander. Now we're braking for the corner. You really need to get the racing line right through here. But yeah, we're just really holding up Bottas. We're in P6 now, so major improvements on lap 1. But look at that, Bottas. We really aggressively squeeze him because I really want to keep this position. And he's going around the outside now. We have the inside line. It's a better line. We can squeeze him out there, but we're going to look at the replay cameras because you can see that was incredibly aggressive. Look at that. Bottas was really wobbling around because we really defended hard. I didn't want to be that aggressive, but it was still okay. No one got damaged. No one is out of the race. Everything's fine for now. We're still but Bottas has a bad time now because Sainz actually gets past him because we really squeeze him out there. As Alex Albon puts the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. It's lap number 2 now. You can see that Sainz in a straight line. He is faster, so he's trying to go around the outside of turn 1. Not the best place to be. The inside line is the best at turn 1, so we do stay ahead. But we get heavily on the curb for turn 2 and now turn 3. You can see we're getting a little bit of understeer there, but not much. But yeah, we're barely staying ahead because the cars behind are much faster than us, and we're much slower than them because we're the second slowest car on the grid, remember. But yeah, coming through the hairpin now. Sainz really closing up to us now. He's only 4 tenths behind us now. Yeah, just 4 tenths. That's not much as we come to the long left-hander and coming to the long right-hander where we get so much understeer. Look at the understeer there. Sainz comes down the inside now. He's trying to make a move. No DRS yet, but still the slipstream and just the overall speed of that Renault engine, which is much more developed than ours. It's not much more, but it is more developed than ours. It's helping him out. But Bottas going around the outside. It's 3 wide into the hairpin again with the same guys. But Bottas really wins out here because he makes a double overtake. Wow, so we kind of lost out there. We're only in P7 now, but Bottas just really did wonders for him there and just passed us as DRS is now enabled and Bottas is just pulling away like crazy. And yeah, coming to turn 1, we're going a bit defensive there, too defensive. It wasn't required, compromised our line a little bit. But yeah, we just lost out to Bottas there. So right now we're standing in best of the rest, with only all the top 3 teams being ahead of us now. But Science going for a move around the outside of turn 1. He's still holding it through, which is pretty good. But now coming into turn 2, we come out ahead. Turn 3, that awkward change of camber is still there, and it is affecting us, but not as much. But you can see Science is just closing up to us so fast. Look at that. He's really reaching us 2.5 tenths, 2 tenths gap only, and it was I'm pretty sure it was much bigger at the start of the straight. But yeah, on the exit it isn't too good. But you can see that the leaders are actually pitting, so quite a few of the cars ahead, they're coming into the pits. So I was thinking like this is where our strategy would pay off. We're on the mediums now, we can go long, and yeah, we can just do some wonders with the strategy. I was looking pretty positive because the game told me that this strategy, starting on the mediums, was around 2 or 3 seconds faster. So it is faster. The game says faster, but not much. But you can see Ocon is catching up to us now. Sainz has pit from behind us, so now it's Esteban Ocon who's right around the rear end now, and he's gonna come into the pits as we come to the final corner. Everybody else behind us is coming to the pits. Well, whoever hasn't already pit yet, they're pitting now. A few cars, I think Kvyat, Kvyat, Giovinazzi, those drivers, they didn't pit yet. Magnussen is one of them as well. But right now we're in P1. We're leading the race. We're leading the Chinese Grand Prix. This is unbelievable. But you can see the yellow flags now. You can see in the first sector somebody slowed down. I'm looking behind. There's a good gap behind me because I haven't pitted. But yeah, Sebastian Vettel, he's the one who's out of the session. The Ferrari having another bad race after a pretty terrible race at Vietnam last time out. You can see there's smoke coming out of his engine, and he pulls over to the side and he is out of the race. We're just going to take a look at it once again from behind him. The smoke isn't showing right now, which is pretty strange, but yeah, he's had major problems with his engine. It's just blown.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
So moving on to lap number 8, you can see that Jeff gives us a radio message about our pit stop. So I mentioned in the video which I did for Zandvoort, the first gameplay on Zandvoort, that I've noticed in all the F1 games, Jeff always gives you that radio message about the pit window 2 laps before you actually have to pit. So yeah, we're going to be pitting on lap 10, that means, and Alex Albon has caught up to us now. He's less than a second behind. I'm starting to doubt the strategy now because the leaders have really just caught up to us. I mean, you can see how that we haven't even pitted yet and we're already so close to the leaders. I'm really doubting the strategy. I don't know if it's gonna go right. Albon's caught up right. He's caught right up to us now on the straight because he had DRS, obviously, because he was within 1 second. Coming to the final corner, you can see we're going wide because we're hitting tire wear, and now there's another radio message.
At the moment, the car behind us is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap.
That right there is confirmation that the cars behind are going much faster than us, as Bottas puts in the fastest lap. How's this gonna play out? No, the cars behind us are going so fast. We're a lap away from our pit window, and when we move on to later on in this lap number 9, you can see that Albon is ready to make a move. We squeeze him to the edge of the track, but we leave him the space, and you can see he's just flying past. Our tires are really dead, going around the outside of the hairpin now. He comes ahead, but we get better traction. Now, I know that this has already gone wrong. I'm not going to make it worse. I'm boxing this lap. I thought that we could do with some extra time on the soft tires and maybe gain some positions, but we brake hard for the pit lane speed limit. The pit window is open now. Since we pit in early, it opened later, but you can see that we're going on the replay cameras because Max Verstappen has an issue. For some reason, when he came out of the final corner, his car did not accelerate. So Verstappen having a bad race here. You can see he's just going so slow on the straight, so something's gone wrong with his car. So the yellow flags are out. There's no safety car, but there are yellow flags, so we come in for the pit stop. You can see the notification does come and we're going straight onto the soft tires. We come out of the pit lane with rich mix overtake mode. You can see Verstappen spiked up right here, and we come out so far behind. We come out in P11 behind Danny Kvyat. Look at that, we majorly lost out here because we came out so far behind. We were running in P7 before the pit stop, so we really have lost positions. We're not even in the points, so this could turn out bad for our sponsors. I think we should be able to get past Kvyat because we're on fresher tires, we're on faster tires. Look at that, look at how much we're closing up into the braking zone. This is really not good for us. The strategy's gone pretty wrong, but now we're gonna try and make the best out of this bad situation. So we're gonna try and get at least 1 point, and I really want to pass Kvyat because he's definitely looking slower than me. Look at that, look at how much we're closing up to him. So we finally get DRS for the first time in this race, really. So yeah, we get DRS now for this long straight. We're still quite far way back, but we make a huge dive bomb, make a little bit of contact there, I think. But we make a huge, massive dive bomb, and we get past Kvyat finally. You could see how much we were closing up in the braking zones, but we finally made it past him. And now we move on to lap number 11 now, crossing the line for lap number 11. Not much time left in this race. The gap in front is 2.0 seconds, as Jeff told us now. But yeah, we're hitting a little bit of understeer here. This is because when we put these softs on at first, they weren't entirely fresh, so I think they might have been a little bit worn out. Maybe we used them in qualifying. We move on to lap number 12. You can see we put in a personal best lap time, and we're 1.8 seconds behind Perez. So we're kind of catching up to him a little bit, but you can really see that we're not gaining much on him, so this strategy hasn't worked at all. We move on to the final lap, and by now I'm getting desperate, so I asked Jeff something.
Perez is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 2.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 8 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 36.4.
That is absolutely crazy. Perez is lapping 8/10 faster than us every lap, so he's really gaining time on us. So yeah, things are just not turning out well. And even Kvyat's caught back up to us, both the AlphaTauris. That's really showing that we shouldn't have, tried to make such a big gamble with the strategy, because when we move on to later in the lap, you can see that Lewis Hamilton wins the Chinese Grand Prix, but we have our own problems because Kvyat, he has DRS. He must have ERS as well, because we have almost none ERS. But look at that, he just flies past us so easily. We brake late, we're trying to make a move. I really want to keep this position. It's just 1 point, and I want to achieve the sponsor goal, even though it's just 1 point. So we come to the final corner. This strategy gamble went totally wrong, but we still come across the line to get 1 point and finish in the point ping position. So yeah, this definitely wasn't an ideal race. Things did go wrong, but in the end, we finished in the points as Esteban Ocon gets the driver of the day. We achieved our sponsor goal. I think it's still okay, even though it's less than ideal. Let's now watch the podium ceremony.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. And they certainly deserve it.
So this is the end of this race. You can see we get 700 XP for the podium pass, but we're still in tier 4, so there's nothing big on that. But yeah, coming to the race results, P10, it's an improvement from our qualifying position, even though it's only 1 position, but our teammate Jordan King does finish in P19. He does improve from his qualifying position every time, so that's pretty good there. But moving to the driver standings, we move down the order. We're in P6 now since we only got 1 point. In the constructors, we're still in P4, so that's pretty good. But yeah, you can see Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull and our team stay in the same position for the constructors. But now we move on to a press interview with Claire.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
Saying that the drivers, you know, the level of racing is high will boost our claim.
You had a close battle today, didn't you?
The previous answer got us claimed, this one will as well. I'm gonna say that we're both great drivers pushing each other. I think that would do some good.
Cleanest race today, was it?
This question really tough. I'm gonna go with the option on the right. I think it's the safest one, so I'm just gonna go with that.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So that is the end of that press interview. I think that went fairly well, and that allowed us to achieve our sponsor goal. You can see we're ahead in our rivalry with Danny Kvyat. The only thing we didn't get is a podium finish. So yeah, we've got 6 races left to reach it to 30 points. Good acclaim boost for us. 10% acclaim boost. Our acclaim level gets upgraded, and same thing for our teammate Jordan King, who gets a 12% acclaim boost. And we get some good cash as well, so that's great after we achieve the sponsor goals. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button and subscribe and turn on notifications so that you know when a new video comes out. This is F1ntastic Gaming.